about 2 minutes and I'm already dying. I feel like I can't breathe. The humidity is so much. Good morning. We are in New Orleans. We just came here for a quick little weekend trip. Michelle has been here before. She loves it. It's my first time, so I'm super excited for the food, the drinks, and the music. It's Friday. It's like at, what is it, like 10 a.m. right now. We don't really have any plans other than just going to get some beignets, as you should, in the first day here. And then we're going to, we have a reservation at the restaurant at 1:30. And after that, we're just gonna stroll around the city. There's a hurricane that's supposed to be happening here. Not here, it's actually in Texas, but it might come this way. So we're gonna get all the walking and exploring today done, just in case it starts pouring rain tomorrow and the next. So let's go.
Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. I want to be in that number. Yes, when the saints go marching in. Now when the sun refuses to shine. Oh, when the sun refuses to shine. Don't you want to be in that number? Yes, when the
First stop was Café du Monde over there. To have some beignets, and I had some orange juice. Michelle had some coffee. One of those things you have to do, one of those tourist things that was good. The beignets are awesome though. Just careful because you don't want to get powdered sugar all over you. A couple of tips from there. It's a free-for-all, so don't wait in line waiting to get seated. There's a huge line and a bunch of tables just because you seat yourself. Just walk in, get a table and sit down, and then wait 5 minutes so they clean up the table. They'll bring, as they're cleaning the table, they'll get your order, and also it's cash only. So just one of those tips. Now we're just walking around. That's the Jackson Square right there. Now we are in Jackson Square. This is where the Louisiana Purchase was made. What is the Louisiana Purchase? For those that didn't go to high school in the U.S. or forgot U.S. history, it was when the U.S. bought the Louisiana territory from France. For about $250 million of today's money. I think it was about like $15 million back then. And the Louisiana territory wasn't just the state of Louisiana. It went all the way up, like all the Midwest, almost a little bit of Canada as well. If you can hear the music in the background, we think it's the second line, which is one of the things that happens here in New Orleans. When somebody gets married here, this brass band goes in front of them all over the French Quarter, and then the bride and the groom follow them in the wedding party. We're gonna go check it out, see if that's what's happening right now. Well, it's not a second line, but it's still gonna be pretty cool to see this. Happened to stumble upon this pharmaceutical museum in the middle of the French Quarter, which as a bartender was awesome to see because there's a lot of history of bitters. If you're a bartender, if you like cocktails, you know that bitters is an essential part of making drinks. So the Peychaud, which is a New Orleans bitter that's used in the Sazerac, which is the first cocktail ever made. So actually, of course, drinking is worldwide, and you know, whiskey started in Scotland, and absinthe is from Switzerland and everything. But cocktails are actually an American thing and started here in New Orleans, mostly because of the bitters that were made here. So Peychaud is actually bitter. It actually was considered a medicine. So bitters actually survived the Prohibition because it wasn't considered alcohol; it was considered a medicine. So that people started getting drunk off of bitters because it's very It's not pleasant to drink, but it is very high in alcohol, so people use that to get drunk. And then they started making cocktails with it. Like Angostura bitter is probably the most famous bitters out there in the cocktail world. You know, you can have a Manhattan and an old fashioned, all that takes Angostura. That's actually a bitter, a medicine that was used to cure seasickness. So that's why even today, if your stomach is feeling weird, you can just get a little bit of Angostura and soda and your stomach settles, because it's actually meant to cure that. That was really cool, and I'll put the address of that place in the description. You guys are ever in New Orleans and interested in cocktails and bitters and stuff. And actually, the guy told me there that the Peychaud's pharmacy is actually down the street, so we're gonna go over there. And I really gotta stop saying actually. So if the guy's not bullshitting me, that was the Peychaud's, the Antoine Peychaud's pharmacy, where he created the Peychaud's bitters, which gave birth to my favorite cocktail, which is the Sazerac, which is a very New Orleans cocktail, and also the first cocktail ever made. So we're back in the hotel room. Had lunch at the, I don't know how to pronounce it, but the Compère, something like that. Lapin, something like that. Whoa. Lunch is cool. I'll give it like I'll give it a 7 out of 10. So if I was staying at the hotel, I would go again. It wasn't, my food was amazing. The goat was like, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Michelle's fried fish sandwiches, it was okay. It's a little bland. But it was cool. Now it's like 90 degrees outside. It feels like 120 and humidity is 160. So we're going to come in. So we came to the hotel to chill a little bit, freshen up, and then we're going to go out when it's not like hell out there. Took a nap, probably longer than we should have, but we were crashing. Now we're going to go to another bar. It's called the Sazerac bar. It's actually at the same hotel we're staying at, the Roosevelt. It's known for Sazeracs, which is, again, my favorite cocktail, like we talked about before. Oh, that's better. Like I talked about before when we were looking at the bitters and stuff, that the Peychaud's pharmacy was around there. So now we're going to go have some cocktails that's made with the Peychaud's. So now we're just walking around the more residential part of the French Quarter, and Michelle wants a hurricane so she can get drunk walking in the streets, because you can't do that in LA. You're not supposed to mix it? What do you mean? It's not as... So we just left the blacksmith bar. It's pretty cool because it's the supposed to be the oldest bar in America. And during the Prohibition time, when everything was illegal, it became a blacksmith. So now it's called the blacksmith bar.
No, it was a cover.
Well, yeah, like a blacksmith in quotes. It wasn't really a blacksmith. And the best part is you can walk out with your beer.